I mean, do you feel that there's some underlying male validation in your work or no?
I find it very meaningful. I find it meaningful when couples come in and they want to work on something. They're working on a goal. Maybe he's got a mental block and we're working on that. The gentleman that comes in that's having issues with erectile dysfunction and he's trying to troubleshoot that, and we actually create success for him. It's meaningful to me.
Wait, just one point of clarification. So you're a sex therapist?
As
Yeah.
sex workers, we're basically sex
I mean,
therapists.
I don't have a
okay.
counseling degree. I have a master's degree in
Actually,
education.
we have
I'm
an
a teacher.
article. You recently kind of went viral. Nick, can you pull up the article? Like, New York Post.
Yeah.
New York Post. I'm a sex therapist. I sleep with clients to save marriages.
Oh my gosh! I didn't
They
realize
went
you were
crazy.
this person. I did
They went
see.
crazy.
Did you reacted to this, or
I
you saw
almost
it?
did, but I'm here.
You're here now. So,
Perfect.
Nick, can you pull up the article really quick?
Yeah.
One more. Sex therapist Olivia Bentley. Wait. Nick takes a hands-on approach with her clients by sleeping with them. I've saved marriages. The Boise, Idaho native told Kennedy News, calling her work life-changing. I get physically involved with the majority of the people I see. I think that's part of the appeal. The veteran sex worker who spent 15 years in the industry claims that women have asked her to demonstrate sex acts on their husbands, while some wives grant their eager hubbies a hall pass to pay Bentley a visit. Good times.
Yeah.
Is that pretty accurate? I mean,
Yeah.
you save marriages by having sex with the husband?
Well, I think the tabloids went a little crazy.
Oh, they-
with
okay,
the
okay,
whole,
okay.
but
New York Post is known to
Yeah.
okay.
They really, went wild with it. But I do help a lot of couples that come in. One right now is asking me to lend a hand, and he's more of a beta, and she'd like him to be more of an alpha, and she wants me to work with him on being more just outwardly in control and aggressive in the bedroom, things like that. There's a lot of different psychological needs and reasons why people would want to come and work with professional sex worker.
Sure. Candace, it seemed like maybe you had something
I think
on
it's
this.
the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. It's so in the realm of like dragons and mythological creatures that it's hard to respond to the idea that she's saving marriages. It's just
There,
You're in disbelief.
I'm actually
Here's another
in utter
belief.
disbelief that she is saving marriages.
Here's another example.
Sure.
Okay.
So and this has been, there's multiple clients that do this, where the wife will not have sex anymore. She
Right.
went and said, look, when they were courting each other, she was down for sex. She was a sexual person. She was all about it. Then let's fast forward, they're married. We're married now, contract solidified. I don't want to have sex anymore. Ew, oral sex is gross. Oh, that's demeaning if you're asking me to do that.
So you're not saving marriages, you're helping people to keep up a farce that they are in a marriage. Because at the very moment that you let someone else into your marriage, it's no longer a marriage.
No.
Yeah.
And
These
guys will
women,
come in-
no,
so
these
to say-
women have turned
guys-
around and said, I will allow you to see a professional.
So they are not
so-
in a marriage. That's the
Well,
point.
they're
As soon as you
married,
Or
lend
some of
your
their
spouse
wives
out,
are like dying from cancer and this, that, and the other. And
If I'm dying from
Is even-
cancer and
and
my
somebody
husband
sleeps
goes
with
to
somebody
sleep with somebody,
else,
I
is-
swear to God.
and
There
their
are
husbands,
wives
their
that are-
wives
Wait,
are
guys,
the
one at a
ones that
time.
come.
Hold on, just one at a time, please. Go. Candace, were you?
I just would like to make the point that at the very moment that you loan your spouse out, especially if you're dying of cancer so that they can get off, you're no longer in a marriage. So it's just a farce. It's like it's a comical, you're pretending for people that you're in a marriage, that you're in a loving relationship. That's not what a marriage is. So to say that I help marriages, no, you help destroy marriages, and they can go out and say that we're still married because what we've done is we've essentially said, you take care of this aspect of the marriage. It's like saying, you raise the kids, you have sex with him. This isn't a marriage. It's the whole thing is fake,
What do
right?
you
Go
think
ahead.
that they should
I'll bring
do?
you in next.
What do you think that
They
these
should work on their
circumstances-
marriage together. The union between a husband and a wife should work on their marriage together to fix it. You don't bring out an outside person to sleep with your husband
But
or
if
your
she's
wife.
saying, I'm not down for sex,
Then she
I
might be
want
down
you
for a
to- I want to
divorce.
outsource the sex.
What if she's
I
going to
want
die
you to
from
go to this
cancer and
One
and
second.
she
One second.
wanted him and she allowed him to do that because he needed to get off some way or shape or
While
form.
while she was dying of cancer, one of the last things on her mind was, Let
This
me
is
make
a
sure.
real life. This is a
Well,
real
he
life.
shouldn't want
This is a
to.
real life. Yeah, this was a real. I'm asking you.
And is that what he told you?
This, yeah.
That
So
his wife that's dying of cancer wanted him to come have sex with you?
not with me. This is from what I've heard. Yes.
Somebody told you
Right.
that there's that as a dying wish. My
Yes.
dying
So
wife
how would
said,
you
please
want
go
that?
have sex with a prostitute.
I saw it
at
on
a brothel."
TikTok.
I'm just going to call bullshit on that altogether.
No,
I just don't
because
think
it does
when you're
happen.
dying of
It
cancer,
happens.
going through leukemia.
People will literally bring their guys here.
Please
Okay.
bring them on the
Okay.
podcast.
I just want to
Essie,
say
go ahead.
that okay,
Absurd
it's
scenario I've ever heard in my life.
there's
a lot of crazy shit has
There's
been asked
marriage
for at brothels.
counseling where they can take you
Men
through
just saying
sex
shit.
therapy where you don't have to sleep with somebody else. If it's about a woman not wanting to have sex anymore, what's the underlying reason? Are her hormones messed up so she's not wanting to be sexually active? Is
I
there
have
not
good
enough
one next.
foreplay when they're having sex? Like there's other avenues you can take for
Yeah, there's
sex
like
therapy.
normal couples counselors.
Yes.
Real couples
like
counseling,
regular.
where you try to solve the problem and you
Yeah.
release it, and you don't just source it out to a prostitute.
Go ahead.
The cancer thing is crazy.
It's just the most absurd.
The cancer thing is
He lied.
crazy.
He lied.
But
Yeah, I would say he
outside of
probably
that,
lied.
I don't think that it's up to any of us what constitutes a marriage because every relationship is different.
Well,
so
the
if
Bible.
if a husband, okay, but
His words
if you're
have
not,
meaning.
Not,
But not
everyone is
everybody's-
religious.
not
Well,
everybody's
wait, hold on. Is
Like
that a
saying,
cross
It
necklace?
doesn't constitute
Yeah,
like what do you?
Wait,
Yeah.
Am I
okay,
sure?
really quick.
Not everybody's
Since
religious.
we're talking about religion really quick. Okay, you have a cross necklace, but then your shirt says "Made in Hell."
Yes,
Can
it
you-
does.
I'm a little confused.
Ironic,
Can you?
I mean,
I'm a little confused.
the stone is red, so it matched. You know,
But why are you wearing a cross
Are you
on your
color coordinating with your necklace?
because I don't see a cross as religious. So
neck? Okay.
I
Just
thought
like
the
you
necklace
don't
was
see a
cute.
marriage as religious. So these
I don't
words
think that
they
a
don't
marriage-
have meaning. This is why it's like we're at a stage where people are like, "What is a woman?" Because they just go, "Well, we're going to call it a marriage, but we're going to sleep with other people. We're going to bring in prostitutes. We're going to outsource raising the kids, or we're never going to have kids." You're calling it a family. It's not a family, and this is what it is. The words have no meaning, right? I'm wearing the cross. Why? I don't know. I don't think of it as religious. Okay. Well, Jesus Christ died on the cross.
you think that.
That's what you think.
Wait.
It's
That's
been
what you
proven.
think.
Yeah.
So
It's
why
been
are you wearing the
proven.
cross?
And sex
Because I think it's
worker
cute.
is a
You just think
more
that the design is cute.
Yeah.
better
Wait,
term.
really
I
quick.
grew up
Hold on.
Catholic.
than
I was religious, and I'm not
prostitution
anymore. I
being
don't have to
called-
believe in what you believe, and I can say that if
I didn't
somebody's-
say you had to believe. I asked you a question.
But
I
you're
said, why are
telling
you
me,
wearing the cross?
Okay, and you're saying that the religious aspect of marriage is the only thing that matters. It's not, because people don't follow what you believe.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked you why you're wearing the cross, and you said because you thought it was cute.
Yeah,
I'm
and I
glad we
do.
got an answer. She's wearing the
Okay.
cross around her neck because she thinks it's cute.
I do.
Would you
I'm not religious.
also wear like a Star of David?
It's cute.
As
Well,
like
because-
if it was cute, would you wear
Well,
it?
okay, well,
I
I
just
don't know
mean like
where we're going-
I'm
where this is
asking that
going.
because I wonder.
Well,
like
I
my
have-
guess is that you would think that
gotta talk.
maybe you wouldn't wear a Star of David because you're like, oh, this is maybe like disrespectful to people who are.
Are you making
Jewish.
the argument? Maybe. I mean.
No, I'm just.
The secular.
it's a very
here,
good question.
I'm just saying.
Devil's advocate here. Secular argument. Someone might just say that the cross is just maybe it's more aesthetically pleasing even for an atheist. I don't know.
Sure,
I
but
don't know.
liberals
Okay,
are all about
look.
like having
Would you wear, like, a
respect and
yarmulke 'cause
tolerance.
it's, like,
So I'm just
cute?
like wondering if you
I'm
think
asking
it's.
if would you wear a yarmulke? 'Cause it's
I
cute.
think those are very
Oh,
different
are you talking
things.
like
Why is the
blasphemy?
cross
saying-
different from the
I'm-
yarmulke?
I'm just
I mean, I
asking.
was raised Catholic, and that's just
Would
not
you
something
wear
that
a
I believe
yarmulke if
anymore.
you thought it was cute?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, a yarmulke is completely different than
No,
a cross that's
it's
been
not.
adapted
They're
into a
different.
You can buy a
Symbols of,
cross
like, a
necklace anywhere.
They're symbols of a
Okay,
religious.
the argument of why it's different basically would come down to like how Catholicism has been practiced versus Judaism, in the sense that like Catholics did use the cross symbol, tried to emplace it like in indigenous populations, tried to spread it as much as possible, and that's why in modern day a lot of people think that's like more okay, because it was meant to be popularized. It was meant to be a symbol that the masses should look up to and should see in general, versus Jewish symbols.
Okay.
I would argue didn't go through that.
I think we're kind of derailing a little bit.
Yeah.
You wanted to come
okay,
in. Go ahead.
Yes. So back to the interesting brothel stories. I wanted to say we do actually have men coming in with their parents. Yeah, this actually
their
happened.
wives.
Wait.
So I had a time where a guy came in with both his parents all the way from England to come to the Mustang Ranch because he wanted to lose his virginity.
Wait, is this
And
really
his
where we left
parents-
off? I'm
And-
just not following.
And his parents
the relation to our
paid
previous.
for him to have sex with legal prostitutes.
Hurrah!
I want your stance on that because
And-
what's your
and
stance on
I
that?
would-
Hurrah.
And if I may,
And wait, can I
nowadays,
just say
like
that
we-
for me,
we
I
usually
enjoyed the
call it
experience.
sex workers, not prostitutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
sex
I'm
workers.
sorry.
she said
Wait.
prostitute.
Yeah, it's because
Okay.
they keep.
Wait,
But
did
it's
I-
because they keep.
Yeah,
Wait,
But
just
yeah,
in
you
terms-
said prostitute at
sex
the beginning of the
worker,
episode.
prostitutes a
Is
little
it
bit more
question? Is it
demeaning.
like a? Is
Well,
it,
she said that at the
is it
beginning of the show.
offensive?
Legal
Yeah,
prostitute.
She said legal prostitute.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend anybody. Is prostitute like a?
It's old school. It's still on the books, like on Nevada's books. But like the hipper,
what's the desire?
hipper way to say it is sex worker.
But here's the thing with sex workers.
Personally,
that can
me, you can call me a legal prostitute.
Yeah, she
I
said
got
it.
you.
Cool.
But the thing with the term sex worker is that is such a broad. It includes strippers. It includes women who take lingerie photos who aren't naked. Wait, question. Is stewardess okay? Because you're a flight attendant, so I'm just curious.
It's not the term that we
Would you be
prefer.
offended if someone referred to you as a stewardess?
No,
You get any
older people do all the time.
Doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay. All right. Just curious. Just want to make sure since we're.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a big deal.
Earlier it was like talked about like how, you know, sleeping or letting your husband or wife sleep with someone else is like irresponsible or it's not a marriage anymore. Like I'd be kind of curious of what you believe a responsible marriage is like. Or I understand that you have a religious view on marriage, but when I think about a marriage, I think like I could see somebody saying they're married if it's like completely romantic, like you're not allowed to do romance with anyone else. Like basically what does a responsible marriage mean to you?
Marriage is not just a contract. Like it wasn't just like the government came up with a contract for people to get married. You know, the history of marriage, you can't separate that from the church. The problem is people are trying to make things cool and trying to update and make them modern. And now people are saying you can have a polygamous marriage and you can bring in other people on the outside of a marriage. What's the point of getting married? Literally, I'd like to ask the question: if you think that you can, if you want to marry somebody and then outsource the sex, you know, outsource the responsibility, outsource what the labor of love is actually supposed to be about, why not just stay single?
So you wouldn't do a threesome with your husband?
Absolutely not, because he's my husband.
Do you
Did you
believe
even have to ask that to get the
Well,
answer?
I mean, there's
Absolutely
married
not.
couples that want to have threesomes, and
you know
some
what
of
happens?
these ladies
you should,
are
you should,
bi-curious.
And you should jump into those Reddit threads because every single time that marriage ends in divorce, there's so many Reddit threads
No,
about.
they don't.
Oh,
And a
yeah,
lot
I
of them
have, I have
actually do
regulars
really
of
well,
over 5
too.
years.
Okay.
And
There's
they're
some that
not
do really
do you
divorcing.
believe
Well-
atheists can get married?
I think atheists get married because they want a tax break. I don't see the point in an atheist getting married. Why don't you just live with your partner, okay? Whoever it is that you're dating, you're at the stage you said, I don't know if you live with your boyfriend or whatever it is. Why take the next leap? If you're wearing crosses for fun and, you know, it
I mean,
seems
if
like
you're actually
good.
asking
Yeah,
the question,
yeah.
I mean, because then I would just be pledging the fact that I would want to be with them forever.
But
I don't
you can just be with them forever. So what is it that
Right,
you
but-
crave that when you want to get married? What's that next step for you? What does it mean? What's the difference between dating and marriage?
Because it's a commitment.
Is dating not a commitment?
It's a commitment, but it's saying a
But
next
you're
step. It's
within-
solidifying it.
Okay, solidifying what? Because if
Solidifying
you're,
a bond between two people that love each other.
Okay, but what is solidified? If you can then jump into that next commitment, which is the exact same as dating, and you can sleep with other people and you can put topless photos on the internet, what are you getting married for? Pictures on Instagrams to say you did it?
I mean, I'm not sleeping with other people.
What's the
but
difference for you between dating and marriage?
I just told you it's a bond between two people. You're solidifying that by law. You're literally making it known. I want to be with this person forever. It isn't just a simple breakup. Oh, I can go and do whatever the fuck I want and leave. It's a partnership. It's a bond. It's forever.
But there's no difference between dating and marriage
there is a
other than the
difference.
idea in your head that it's a bond, because you're saying also
But it's not an
that
idea in
it's
my head.
okay.
It's on paper.
Oh, okay, it's the paper. And that was the
But
point I
it's
was
not
making.
but I'm
just
saying
a
it's
piece
not
of
a
paper.
tax break. It's a legal
And-
thing.
and I
I'm,
think
I'm
for people that are
connecting to
committed-
somebody for the rest of my life.
Yeah, well, I think for people that think about marriage and don't think about a cross as something funsy to wear, it's not a piece of paper. You know, it is a union between a man and a woman, a sacred union that should be protected from external forces. Definitely not something that you open up. How I would feel disgusting if my husband ever came to me and said, I want you to sleep with another man or sleep with another woman so that I can fill my sexual fetish. I mean, it's an utter perversion of what it means to be married, and it will lead to divorces. People that have this perspective will, and I'm not saying that if you don't do it, you won't get divorced 100%, but I do want to say that there is probably a reason that a lot of sex workers struggle to find people that want to marry them.
Well, can I say a lot
I
of the
disagree.
perversion that comes if you are not going to be acceptant with your partner, if he comes to you and is like, hey, I really like getting pegged, I want you to peg me, and you're like, ew, that's so disgusting. Like, I would never do that. You want me to eat your ass? I would never do that. Well, then, okay, what are you going to do? Divorce him? Or what are you going to do? Realistically, I'm asking you hold on. I want to know. What are you going to do? That's your husband. He's like, hey, babe.
I think one of the things about marriage that's really beautiful is I know what my husband, before we got married, I think I know who he is.
But things change, and maybe he wants to start exploring.
He wants to start doing what?
He wants to start exploring, and he's like, oh my gosh, maybe I do want you to like eat my ass, and I kind of want you to peg me. Like I kind of want anal penetration from you because you're my wife and you're so beautiful and hot, and we're married and we have kids together, and I'm feeling a little bit kinky, and I with you, since we have this special marriage and bond. How would you feel if we could just try this out just this one time, babe, please?
I think it would probably indicate to me that my husband was involved in some perverse world, whether it was through pornography, that something else was happening on the side, because these aren't normal things that people just think of when they wake up.
So
like,
what's your
hey,
next
I'd
move?
really like a strap-on dildo.
Okay, right.
Well,
so what's your next move?
What's the ultimatum? He's going to divorce me if I don't peg him?
So what's your next move?
Crazy. I would think that individual would probably need therapy and not the kind that you give.
Okay. And but you're gonna stay with
this
person?
You don't immediately divorce.
Okay.
Marriage is about working through issues and working through problems.
Okay.
You don't immediately divorce them. And this gets back to what she was saying about if your husband, if suddenly a woman doesn't want to have sex, which would be another huge issue in a relationship, I would hope that my husband wouldn't instantly divorce me, but I would hope that they would take
some guys are terrified of that, and some guys don't even feel like they can open up to their wives about that
Sounds
stuff.
like they need therapy.
They
then.
need
If they
therapy.
can't open up to his wife.
Yeah, I know.
You got to work on your marriage.
But the thing is that they'll come to us talking to us about that. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
and I think that's
think
unhealthy. And I think that, the fact that sex workers exist as this, what you believe to be a solution, when in fact that's a detriment, because you're getting in the way of the wife and the husband being able to communicate. And so I would much rather my husband go, if there was an issue and your wife's not having sex, I'd rather him go talk to a priest. I'd rather him go talk to another male. When males sit down and talk about, hey man, you should talk to her about this.
But let's be
I'd rather
real.
him.
What
No,
man nowadays
let me
is
finish
gonna
my
do
statement.
that?
I'd rather him. What do you mean, bros talking to each other about things? That's a normal. I'd
Especially
rather,
about
if I have
sex,
an
I
issue
feel
in
like
my,
that's pretty
it's pretty
normal.
normal. I'd rather go talk to my sisters about things that are going on
No,
in my
I
marriage.
said, what
There's a
man?
lot of steps you can take before you talk to a prostitute about your marriage. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I live in such a crazy.
well, I'm
place,
saying what
but
man is
I
willing
don't know.
to do
I'd
that?
turn on
Because
turn on a
apparently
Taylor
we
Swift
get a lot
song,
of those on
cry
this
a little
side,
bit in
is
my
what I'm
room. I don't know. There's a lot. I would turn to
Wild
Taylor Swift
proposition.
before I would go to a prostitute about
Well,
my marriage.
I
and
know, but you're not a male, so
No,
I'm just saying, like,
men can talk to
where-
other. What are you talking about? There's all of these podcasts of men talking to men and being inspirational and talking about porn addiction and talking about the things that are corrupting men's minds. That's out there.
Okay,
and
and
those
I
are
know
those
that.
are. I would much rather my husband listen to those men,
Right.
and look for guidance, whether it's in the church,
I
whether
hear
it's on a
you.
podcast, whether it's a spiritual leader, than to turn to a prostitute in a brothel.
I hear you.
So there's a lot of steps that you can take from we're having an issue in our marriage to my husband's at a brothel laying next to a prostitute talking about issues
I
in
don't
my
think
marriage.
I
A
think
lot of
actually,
them
let me just step in really quick. I do think though, I would like to redirect the conversation, because I do think it's probably a very small portion of people who are married are seeking to bring in a prostitute for the husband. It just seems like such a small kind of, I don't know. What's up, really quick?
Statistically, married men are actually the highest number of clientele for prostitutes.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying, please listen for me. I'm literally telling you guys, males come to us and say all this stuff, which is like, they're first scared of you guys because how you might react. Two, they feel like they can't be honest and open with you guys. That's why they result in coming to places like
just
that.
so you guys know, that statistic doesn't mean that the majority of married men go to prostitutes. So
I
you
didn't say that.
No, I know. I'm just letting her know, because she said yes, like it was if it was a debunk.
No,
and I think what
no,
he's
no,
saying is
no,
that the
no.
majority
Oh,
of married
nice,
men don't
yeah.
turn
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like,
to prostitutes.
a
So
lot,
there
we
might be a
get a lot
small
of married men, is
contingent,
what I'm
and they
saying,
might be majority
right?
married.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
I think
get
that's a
everything.
good
But-
reason to have, I guess, to on the point of like something was brought up earlier about like what is like a responsible marriage to you. So part of being a good partner as like a wife or a girlfriend to whoever you're with is making them feel comfortable telling you anything, especially if it's something that they think is serious enough to consider leaving like their relationship with you for. Like if it's serious enough that they would consider divorcing you if they can't explore the sexual fantasy or anything like that. I think that's just a part of being good on the I I agree with what you're saying here, that they that these men don't feel comfortable that they could tell their wives, and I guess that's just a part of being, not that it's justifiable that you as a wife you should give in to any sexual fetish your partner brings to you. It's whatever you're comfortable with and wherever your boundaries are. But I guess that's a part of that continuous conversation with them, so that they always feel comfortable bringing up anything to you as a friend, as like a confidant, and knowing they're not going to be judged, but that they'll be a partner with you in figuring out what to do.
I do have to move on. So we have a couple chats here I want to try to get through. We have Beaten Cheeks. Candace Owens, do not hold back on these libs. Wipe the floor with your intelligence. Congrats on being prego again. Be easy with my Essie, though. She's about to get retired out soon.
Okay, first of all, I have beef with Beaten Cheeks because he asked me on a date and then posted a photo with another girl on Twitter.
Oh,
so
are you guys loyal? I mean, he asked you on a date and you guys are committed to, you're committed to Beaten Cheeks with his ridiculous
basically together.
name.
So he's posting photos with another woman right after asking me out.
Beaten Cheeks.
He's literally breaking my heart. He's breaking
commit
my heart.
this act of infidelity on Essie over here, who you've never met yet. Okay, we have Frankie K. Hey, thank you, man. You know what's funny about Beyonce? She encourages single ladies to have fun, supports promiscuous behavior in her music, and perpetuates the I don't need a man mentality. And when she's done recording, she goes home to her husband and her children, who, by the way, Jay-Z cheated, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Good point, Frankie. Thank you, man. We have Candace, the honey badger queen. Is that your nickname?
I don't know.
Or did you just get bestowed with
I just got bestowed.
Thank you for your voice and being on. This wacky space is a cultural battlefield that somehow pushes beyond ideological bubbles. When are Jeremy and Ben going to make Brian an offer? Seriously, think about it.
Yeah. I'll bring it to them.
Oh.
I've got a lot to bring to them. After.
Yes, the Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King and Matt Walsh.
There you go. All right, we have Travel Trades here. Oh, wait, I'll just read. Hi, Brian, long time no see. Hopefully I can come on once I'm back from Kuwait. Hi, Candace, thanks for being a voice when I felt odd having conservative behaviors, excuse me. Your bravery has helped countless people become comfortable with being conservative.
Thank you. That's so sweet. Thank you.
We have Travel Trades. People in this day and time are exceedingly haughty and refuse to pursue the abolition or even suppression of ego in their everyday lives. People appeal their own wants, needs, opinions, ideas, etc. above all else, instead of appealing to something greater. From Travel Trades. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. And then lastly, we have Sosaiji. That's probably not, I don't know. Panel, please listen to everything that Candace says. You have a rare opportunity to see what a high-value woman is and learn from her, as she's intelligent, respected, and accomplished. You can't justify and make excuses for your lifestyles. Anybody got a response to that one?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right.
I like my lifestyle.
Yeah. I love my
Okay.
lifestyle.
I
and
could
what it's
change it
created
at any
for me.
time. Being in this industry, you don't run out of opportunities. Men are coming all the time. If I wanted to settle down with one of them, I think that could have happened.
Yeah.
Wait, when you say men are coming to you all the time as clients, right?
Yeah.
And you said if you wanted to settle down with any of them, you could, but do you find the men who come to you attractive? Because I mean, I've heard from a lot of women who do OnlyFans, or even women who are exotic dancers, strippers, whatever, and women who do porn or even adult content, that the men that typically like are the fans or consume the content or come and see you, your clients, a lot of these women don't view these men, like just by virtue of them coming to you or by virtue of them subscribing to your OF, like that in and of itself makes them not a prospect for any like long-term relationship.
These are normal guys, and some of them are hot. So I'm a fitness competitor.
Okay, all right.
I'm 46 years old. I figured I was going to age out of the industry. What has happened? MILFs are all the thing. They're the cat's pajamas right now. So I'm getting a ton of
Well, okay, yeah.
I'm getting a lot of youngins.
The
coming.
youngins.
The youngins.
The youngins.
Young gentlemen.
Really?
Tons of
Okay.
them. And then, fitness competitors, judges that judge in the circuits, and then they'll say, hey, you're looking good, or tighten this up. So there's a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of individuals now.
To meet them, though, but I mean,
and
when
date,
it comes
and
to
date them,
but
and
when
they
it comes
come
to
back.
long-term commitment, I mean, I think
They want, well, I agree. What I encounter, and something what Candace said is these guys, they are prideful. So once they start dating you, they do, in my experience, they do want you to maybe consider settling down. Now, I've done real estate. I was vice president of business growth at an active wealth management company during COVID. I have a master's degree. I can do different things.
What do you have a master's in?
Education.
Okay.
I got straight A's.
Got it.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
and I taught for a while. So I come in and out. I'll go into white collared work and then I'll go back into the industry because it's fun for me. I enjoy it and it is good money and it's an adventure. I enjoy going out with these guys and being a travel companion and getting to go on vacations.
No, I
Candace?
just wanted to ask you,
Oh.
as the man sitting at this table, are you attracted to their lifestyles? Do you think men are attracted to their lifestyles? I'm just curious about your opinion, just to hear a male.
I don't care.
Well, that's so rude.
No,
He
but
sat
I mean,
here and
good-
asked you your opinion about
No,
everything.
I said like good thing I don't care for
But I
what
didn't-
other male has to say about my industry though.
But
I'm
he's
just
been
saying.
asking you questions about what you think about men.
No, I'm gonna
He's been
listen to
asking you
him.
questions about your life, and the first thing when I
No,
ask one
he
question
can
to
say his
him,
question.
you
I'm
say
just
I
saying,
don't
like,
care. I feel like
personally,
I'm very hurt.
Like-
I want to know.
Yeah, I'm
as
just,
a
I
man,
just,
it's
yeah,
an
but
apology.
why
How
interrupt
dare
that?
you?
Like when he asks you a question, what if someone said, I don't care what she says? You know, I think that's just
No,
a little
like
rude.
I'm saying like because everybody's always out here. I see your faces that you're giving her and stuff like that. And I think
No,
it's funny.
I just am
And so I'm
saying
just
like
saying,
I'm letting her
like,
talk, but I just wanted to hear his opinion on it. So I just was
ahead,
that like a
Brian.
little bit of insecurity to just jump and say I don't care because
Can I
did you
poach
think-
Candace from the Daily Wire?
Well,
I think I need
it was
to
just
cut.
a little rude.
Go
And
ahead,
I'm like,
Brian.
I need to cut-
he's let
I
you
need to
talk so
defend
much.
her.
We've all been letting people talk with different perspectives. So I just thought it was like suddenly he hasn't even said anything, and you've
there
already
was a
diminished.
few times where
What?
Condescending
Okay, well,
look.
in
yes.
any case,
So
in any case,
it's
so
okay.
I
Can-
just want to hear
Just
a male
continue,
voice. Like we've been all talking
okay,
about our
I'm
opinions.
trying to let Brian continue, and you're still talking.
Okay.
a little bit
So
of insecurity coming out over there. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but go on.
Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, do I have your permission? Is it okay? Is it okay? Okay, cool. So sorry, can you just repeat the question one more
Yeah,
time?
I was just saying like it's interesting because we're all women and we're giving different perspectives and the female perspective on this topic. When you hear what she just said about sex work and how she feels about sex work, or you hear what she's saying, or you hear what she's saying, what is your honest opinion as a man? Because what we're trying to get to, I think, the nucleus of is, you know, high value women, high value men, what creates that, how men respond to that, and we have the opportunity to hear a man. I don't know.
I mean, I personally would not date a woman who is involved in sex work in any of its various manifestations. I mean, it's kind of, there's, I'm not really like a hater if people want to do that sort of thing. When on a societal level, I don't know if it's, the best thing, but I'm kind of like, hey, whatever, go do your thing. But as far as my own personal preferences, standards, and boundaries when it comes to a relationship, I don't foresee myself wanting to get involved with someone who does sex work.
And why do you think that is? I think most men would agree with you. I think that makes sense to me. But why is that? Because I think it's just interesting to hear a male perspective. That's all.
Sure. I mean, well, kind of going back to there being different levels to it. So, I mean, if she's a prostitute or was a prostitute, I mean, it's kind of, I feel like that's just common sense. Like, I wouldn't, no offense, I just wouldn't date a woman who's a prostitute.
I'm not offended, like I said.
And probably they wouldn't want to date me. I don't know. It's fine. It's cool. But yeah, I wouldn't. No, if you're, because I would want monogamy. I'd want loyalty. And even though it's for work and they're just doing it for money, my view of sex is not, I don't think you can, well, people do, but I don't think you ought to detach intimacy from sex. And people who engage in a lot of casual sex or people who do it for work, you've essentially just detached intimacy from sex. So definitely not a prostitute. I mean, not a stripper, not a OnlyFans, no.
I feel like that was just like an unnecessarily long way to answer. Like, no dude's gonna want to
No.
date a hooker. I don't know. It's like, I don't think it's like that.
Yeah, and I said I don't care because it's like, and you're like, no, don't take offense. Like, I'm not going to take offense to something I don't care about. That's why I'm like,
no, it's just a preempt.
And you stated, you were like, and you looked at me and you said, and don't take offense. Like, baby, I'm not offended by any means. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay.
That's
I'm
totally
not
fine.
looking for a
I'm not,
high-end
I'm not,
relationship right now.
I'm not trying to offend you. She was just asking me.
Yeah, I literally was just
my
asking a
stance.
question.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, earlier I was like talked about like promiscuity. Like I'm assuming you guys believe like promiscuity is like bad or shouldn't be encouraged in society. I was wondering if what specific factors do you think encourage it most? Do you believe it's like media? Do you think like birth control has anything to do with it? Do you believe like I want to know what your top factors of promiscuity are, or what you believe it is.
Yeah, so I would say number one contributor is culture and the education system. So I remember when I was left-leaning, a lot of my ideas came from the school system and just what you're talking about, Planned Parenthood in the classroom. That effort began in the 70s. The majority of high schoolers were graduating with their virginity intact in the 70s before they started teaching health class, which was teaching people that everybody's doing it, and actually they weren't. And within 1 decade, it completely flipped, and the majority of teens were now graduating having lost their virginity. So we ceded a lot of that to the education system, which when parents had more control over their children, what was happening in the classroom was based on arithmetic and not cultural issues, and focusing on engineering children to think that sex is this positive, it's you just do it, everybody's doing it, doesn't matter if you have multiple partners. You combine that with feminism in the classroom. I was forced in college to take a Feminism 101 course, and they kind of made you think that,
Beaten Cheeks donated $200. Candace, please tell these women their past promiscuous matters to be with a decent guy that will not be beta males. SC, that was just a friend, we still on relax. Just answer my text and we good I promise equals D.
All right, thank you, Cheeks. Was there a question here for Candace, or based off these women who are past promiscuous matter?
Wait, do you mind if I push back a little bit on the education system comment?
Sure.
Okay. Because at least from the things that I've read and that I've studied, it seems like that is true, but in a very particular context. And that very particular context was like basically abstinence only education, which I don't know about you guys, but makes complete sense to me. Because if you tell teenagers like, don't do this thing is like super, like don't do it. It feels super good, but you're not supposed to do it or whatever. If you phrase it that way, then teenagers are going to go out and do it. Because like at least everything that I've seen recently has been talking about how if you talk about proper sex ed, and people who have more access to contraceptives as well as better sex ed, tend to have like a lower body count than people who are like in like lower education, less sex ed, less access to contraception. So I was just wondering like your thoughts on that.
I'm telling you it's not true factually. In the 70s, before they got Planned Parenthood, went in the classroom and started funding initiatives, and they started teaching sex education. There used to not be sex education in school, and the way that they got it into the classroom in the 70s was by saying, it's better to teach them, which is what you're saying, because then they'll be more responsible. It actually, within 1 decade, it flipped. The majority of high schoolers were graduating with their virginity before there was sex education, and then when they put sex education in the classroom, the majority of them within 10 years were not graduating with their virginity. So it actually sexualized children.
Yeah. My understanding, but the reason why was because the first manifestations of sex education was abstinence only,
and it was working is what I'm saying to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was working. So abstinence, it used to be considered, and I'm not at all trying to, I'm just telling you what the facts are here. When abstinence was the cultural simulation, when everyone said you should be abstinent, you should not have sex before marriage, that idea was permeated throughout culture. It was reflected in culture. There were no sex ads. There weren't people naked on the internet, and people lived their lives. It was considered a big thing, to lose your virginity. You were actually considered someone that maybe a guy wouldn't want to marry because you lost your virginity. That was the cultural understanding, in the 50s and the 60s. And then in the 70s, you had this fourth wave of feminism that reared its ugly head and started associating sexual promiscuity to freedom, and things completely flipped. Again, I'm just giving you a historical analysis of what happened in the classroom.
Yeah, I'd
without
be interested.
Commentary.
Yeah,
hold on.
It's okay if you. Sorry, I'll just finish.
Make
this?
it quick if you
can.
can.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see like where exactly you're getting that from. If like later you can tell me or whatever.
Thomas Sowell, Inside the Education System, and he has
Okay.
all of the sources listed in the back of the book.
Okay, because at least in modern day, do you think that any of that has flipped or no?
No, I think we've become, there was, to use a term, I was actually talking about this yesterday on a podcast. I thought it was pretty brilliant. Paul Joseph Watson, I love his YouTube stuff, and he started talking about hoflation, which is like
that's a thing.
Actually hilarious, which he's saying that men used to have to do a lot less and get a very high value woman. He's like, so think about your grandparents and your grandmother. She was a high value woman. She raised the kids. She was conservative. She was beautiful. All of these things, and now we live in this moment where everyone's kind of a hoe, and you have to work harder to get a woman that doesn't have any self-respect or any value. And I just thought it was a really interesting video. It was obviously funny, but he was saying something, and we live in hoflation now, where everybody in their own capacity is selling their bodies. And unfortunately, these are the options that men have. No, I'm not saying, it's stunning to me that women talk about what men need to be and what men need to be, but I think just kind of the complete disintegration of when I look at, what my grandmother looked like in picture. She passed in 2013, and just how classy and how beautiful and how much I wanted to be like her. And now I look at, women today, and I just think, man, I feel bad for guys that that the pool is getting smaller, but also it's really positive for women that are conservative and who it means that you're a part of maybe a smaller pool of individuals. I see it a lot more in the South, and that men should aspire to pursue those women, absolutely, to raise their families and to raise their kids.
Do you co-sign on the hoflation theory?
I believe, the women today are very low value, and so it's funny because the simulation is like men ain't shit is kind of the thing everybody's saying. Don't need a man, and it's funny that someone brought up Beyonce because she's living the exact opposite of what she's singing. She's just making money because she knows how to make money in a hoflationary environment. Smart woman. She's like, I'm just going to pretend to be a hoe, but then actually privately I'm going to be like super.
Hold on. You wanted to come in, then you, please, if you can, try to keep it brief because I need to get to chat.
I was just going to say that my version of my sex education was literally them showing us a birthing photo or video. Sorry.
Yeah, in 4th grade.
That terrified me, and I was like, actually, I don't think I'm going to have sex for a long time. I think I'm good.
Go ahead.
And speaking of hoflation, I mean, we're always trending apparently, right? Because
who's we?
Hoes. Because without us hoes, you wouldn't have that many views to be watching, right? You have hoes come on the podcast to talk about our.
I'm not knocking hoes.
I don't want to be a hoe.
I don't want to be a hoe. I'm saying you have hoes, and when I say you have hoes coming onto the podcast, you know you're a hoe if you're a hoe.
Do you mean a literal hoe or more of the colloquial?
That's Brian's dream.
You know what I mean?
You have hoes, Brian.
So you sit here and you want to bash sex workers, but we come on your podcast.
Bash anybody. I don't think anybody has bashed.
He's bringing you on here and giving you a platform to speak. So I think that if he was going to be bashing you, he wouldn't even allow anybody on.
The hero of hoes, if you will.
Wait, what do you mean making what?
Making a seem
I'm not making anybody seem any sort of
No, I'm just talking about a video.
We're a trending topic, so it's relevant to speak on.
Because it's interesting.
Wait, what?
It's fascinating. I am
That's what I'm
fascinated by hoes. I'll say it. I'm absolutely fascinated by the way the hoe mind works, the way the hoe hive works. I'm fascinated.
Next
I cover it on
documentary.
my show. You
And
are
it is
correct.
trending.
It is
I'm
trending.
saying, and that's why
when
it's such a
Emma
hot
gets
topic
up
to
and does a
speak about.
video and says something like, it's chic to be divorced before you're 30. It is absolutely fascinating to see how someone's mind can be so warped. In the same way that I think it's fascinating when anybody does anything crazy or says anything crazy, and I cover it on my podcast. I am not knocking it at all. I just tell people what the facts are. You can choose this lifestyle, and here is where you are 99.9% likely to lead in your life, right? You are probably not destined for marriage. You're probably not destined for a stable relationship. Men are going to not want this long term. You can say it 1,000 times. You can have 1,000 cultural examples, and women's still got to go out there and be hoes, because they're about their money and about a Cardi B song or whatever it is. So yes, I think it is fascinating. And it is why I wanted to, this is why I talk about it on my podcast and why I'm very interested to talk to you guys. And I hope you guys feel that I've been respectful in listening to, your lifestyles, even though it's so different from mine. And so I appreciate Brian for hosting.
Well, thank you for coming, Candace. Let's see. I have a couple chats here, and then I have one more question. And then I think Candace will have to leave here in a moment. We have Yvonne. Oh, okay.
Modern Life Dating donated $199. Hey Candace. Thank you for being a voice of common sense and a good representation of being a decent woman in today's modern perverse time. What are your thoughts on the passport bro movement of men leaving America for better wives abroad?
Hey, John, thank you very much for the TTS.
I can see why.
Maybe a brief little snippet on this, if you can.
Yes. yeah, I think that you can find higher quality women in other places. Like, I married an Englishman. I think America.
Are you a passport? Not a bro, but
passport
like
cis.
a passport cis.
Passport cis.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that America has really lowered the cultural standards for women more than any. You don't see this kind of, even the way women dress in America compared to England fascinates me. And so, yeah, I think find a wife, do what you gotta do, but also don't discount the South, because there are so many good women in the South in America. Come to Tennessee, they're wonderful.
I have heard something kind of interesting on this, is that you have a lot of men in the West, a lot of men in the U.S. going overseas to try to find perhaps a wife who's a bit more feminine, or whatever they're not finding here in the West. But you don't hear of men from other countries in droves coming to the U.S. to find a wife here. You don't really hear that. So, all right, we have Yvonne St. Simonis. Candace, I know you're listening to these women with the realization that this country is doomed. How will you help your son navigate the swamp before you right now? And if we can just try to be...
I moved to the South as soon as I got pregnant the first time. I moved where my values aligned, and my son will be just fine.
Perfect. We have Goodest Boy. One of them is too young to remember the movie Pretty Woman. Imagine a guy just wanting a better life for the both of you, and maybe even a family. Again, the world is effed. Hey, Goodest Boy, thank you. Yvonne. Candace, do you think Lyndon B. Johnson has anything to do with the fact that these women that have an OnlyFans are actually able to find a relationship with a man?
I don't know how we correlated Lyndon B. Johnson to
the
OnlyFans account.
LBJ?
Yeah, he died.
Are you familiar with anything with LBJ?
Of course.
Okay. Yvonne St. Simonis. Candace, what specific steps will you take to ensure that your daughter does not become one of the women sitting at the panel right now?
It would just be impossible in my household. We keep her away from this kind of secular living, keeping them away from tablets, not letting them be raised on Instagram and social media and TikTok, making sure that they have family values instilled in them, that they know what the cross represents, and that they're church-going children. And it's all about who you hang out with. You will become the average of the people you spend your most time with. And I appreciate the time here, but I would definitely say that, I want my kids to be in a different climate. All
right, we have the Castman 777. Marriage must be a closed and permanent relationship between two people for the purpose of raising children. Without this definition, marriage just becomes dating with a contract. Sending your husband to a sex therapist for sex is just prostitution with a loophole. Hey, the Castman 777. Thank you very much for your comment there. Final question here before Candace has to take off. Would any of you date a trans person?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like if I say no, I'm going to get a lot of backlash.
Well,
but I think my personal
be
preference, I would say no.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Hell
well,
no.
You're married. Me personally, I would not. My question to you guys is, would any of you object to a man not wanting to date a transgender woman?
I think everybody has their own personal preferences, and if there's one thing you're allowed to be super picky on, it's who you date. Like, I think that's the only thing that you can 100% have free reign on. You can date who you decide.
I would completely agree with her. Like we talked about before, I think that everyone should have boundaries, and as long as that person's upfront and honest and they can have like a adult conversation that isn't rooted in hatred, I don't think there's anything wrong with preferring somebody that isn't trans.
Okay. I have a question. So, this has been like a thing that's gone viral on this podcast before, and it always seems to spark quite a debate. So, would you consider it to be gay for a man to date a trans woman?
Yes.
For a man to date, no, personally.
Would you categorize him as straight?
Probably, yeah. Because what is it? I'm sorry.
This is
Here,
too
Azalea.
technical.
I mean,
If you don't want to answer, that's
like,
fine.
it's
Go ahead.
just-
If you don't want to answer, that's fine. Go ahead.
I'm with Pixie. I don't think that makes them
Wouldn't-
gay at
wouldn't-
all.
SE?
I have no
I would
clue.
prefer not to answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Question. Does your answer change based on the stage of transition? Like, what if this is before any transition has occurred at all, but the person has come to the realization that they are transgender?
Well, I would assume that you have some level of like homosexual inclination if you're a man attracted to a person who looks and represents as a man, you know? Like if you're saying pre-transition, I would say like if you're attracted to those components of that person.
But pre-transition, if you are transgender, are you a woman?
Pre-transition, you're a woman who hasn't transitioned yet, so you're presenting as a male.
What
until
if
you
there
transition.
hasn't? What if there hasn't been any bottom surgery?
What do you mean?
Like there's still an appendage.
So you're saying they transitioned everything, but they're bottom.
Maybe they're in the process of transitioning. Let's say everything, but the.
Okay, I feel like I'm kind of confused here, so I'll just leave it in these
It
sentences.
seems really technical.
Two people that have penises, I don't care how you feel on your inside, I don't care if you dress and you wear a dress or you wear a wig, if you come together and you have sex, you're gay. And I think that is homosexual, right? So I know that people are trying, it is convoluted. So I understand why you're like, they're trying to make it something else and it's in your head. And well, what if you feel like a woman? It's very simple. If you are a man and you are having sex with a man, irrespective of how you feel or whether or not you've mutilated your body or you've chopped something off, it doesn't make you not a man. You're a man. And two men coming together to have sex with their appendages intact obviously is homosexual sex. So
yeah, I think it's different if you're presenting completely different, because at that point, like, you have men who say that they've been trapped or whatever, and I'm like, that person is straight. They literally slept with someone who was like presenting as a woman, looked like a woman, they couldn't tell. Like, I wouldn't consider that gay. But at the end of the day, like, honestly, I don't really care about people's sexual orientation that much. I feel like this is like kind of a culture war issue. And for some people, culture war issues are important, but I'd rather talk like policy about something. I don't know if that makes me boring here, but.
Well, I'm not sure I'm totally following, but I guess, so what is a woman?
I've answered this question before on the podcast.
Here, I can start with Azalia. Did I say your name right? I'm sorry.
No,
Azalea?
you never do, but it's okay.
Okay, go ahead. Well, so what is a woman?
I mean, I think that gender is a spectrum. I obviously know that you do not agree with me, and a lot of the conservative people here won't agree with me, but I guess it's just how you present and how you feel. I mean, I don't like to structure things that way and like make it so black and white. I think that people should represent themselves and be what they want to be, and it's nobody else's business, to be honest.
A female is somebody that has a vagina. That's what it says in the book, right? Okay, cool.
Which book? The Bible?
The health ed book.
Oh, the health ed book.
But, okay,
is a vagina.
Okay.
No, but what
gender and sex are two different things. So.
Okay.
you answered the question correctly, so I
Okay.
don't want you to feel like you answered it wrong.
What is a woman?
A woman is
I'm like,
somebody.
this is so complex. I'm
Yeah,
scared.
it doesn't need to be.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It doesn't.
A
need
woman
to be.
is somebody who presents or acts as the social construct of woman. And the reason why I don't say biology is because whenever we look at biology, the truth is, before coming to this room, I did not look at anybody's genitalia here. I did not look at any of your chromosomes. I just assumed you guys were women because of how you dress and act. So I think that maps on more to our reality of how we use the word woman.
Essie.
This is so controversial. I'm very like a man and a woman. Man has a penis, woman has a vagina. Biologically, man and a woman.
I agree. I think that it's like whatever biologically and anatomically what you've got going on.
I feel like what brings out my feminine qualities the most is the thought of being a mother in the future. So I guess I associate being a woman with being a mother in all aspects of that.
Okay.
That's my
Lily?
answer.
Your gender is decided before you're born, when you're born, and for the rest of your life.
I'm having a little boy. The doctor knows that. I know that because he's got a penis that is growing inside of my stomach right now, which is kind of trippy to think about. If I get onto this table and I start meowing like a cat, I don't suddenly become a biological cat because I present like a cat and wear a tail and say meow meow. That is probably means that I need to talk to a therapist. Not you. But yeah, it's not that difficult. It doesn't need to be convoluted. It doesn't need to be controversial. A woman, to answer your question, is an adult female.
Adult human female.
It is an adult human female, and that is the answer to something that it's just shocking to me that every person knew, every child, and then within just a couple of cultural years, everyone is so confused about, water being a liquid. It's very, again, I'm fascinated by it, so I love to talk to people that are confused by that. But if you were born with a vagina, you are a female, and if you were born with a penis, you are a male. And if you had some rare thing happen, which hardly ever happens, but people will always talk about it, where you're born with both parts, you might be intersex, hermaphrodite. But generally speaking, I think we know that means that something genetically went wrong, and we are born either male or female.
Pixie, do you object to her definition?
Yeah, because I think I understand where you're coming from, but I think when it comes to day-to-day use of words, they have to map onto our reality somewhat. And the truth is, like, as I didn't check anyone's like biology or chromosomes before coming here, you can say it's an act, but the truth is it's an act that everybody plays into. Everybody looks at how a person looks like and says, oh, they're a woman or male based off of that. And you can say, oh, that person is putting on a disguise that doesn't change their real gender or anything, but everybody acts that way. So to me, it's like, no, like the word that maps, or the definition that maps most onto reality, onto our day-to-day usage, is appearance-based.
Candace does have to take off here. Do you have a final response to her?
Yeah, if you grow an afro and wear a wig and put, a lot of black makeup on, you're not a black woman, So your appearance doesn't actually mean anything. You're not black. And the same way that I'm not white. So if we can trick someone, you might be able to trick me. I think Rachel Dolezal did a really good job tricking people into believing that she was black for a long time by darkening her skin, getting super tan, and wearing fake wigs, but she wasn't actually a black woman. So how you feel on the inside and how you present, you might be able to trick people, but that makes you a liar, not a woman. So yeah, that's what I would say in closing.
Yeah.
If you want, you could direct your further comments to me afterwards. But guys, please be sure to check out Candace Owens' documentary.
Yes.
Convicting a Murderer.
You guys will love it.
Tomorrow.
It's not political.
Yeah,
I'm going to watch it tomorrow.
It'll be live on X.
Live on X and thedailywire.com?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly.
Yeah, be sure to check that out, guys. Well, Candace, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys so much for having me. And honestly, I really did appreciate talking to you guys. Thought it was fascinating. And I think everyone was super respectful. So I really appreciate it. And you, because you're so young, I'm just going to say a prayer for you, because I really do believe that in there's just a different life for you, and I'm just going to say a prayer for you tonight. I just wanted to say that because I felt
for me tonight, because I don't know what that prayer entails.
Well, I'm going to say it anyways. Yeah, someday you might.
You're rejecting the prayer?
Yes.
The prayer is rejected. Okay.
I am rejecting your prayer.
The show goes on, but Candace is leaving. Guys, give me just a sec to say goodbye.
So nice to meet you guys.
Yo, guys, W's in the chat for Candace. W's in the chat for Candace. 07's in the chat for Candace. Sorry, I'll scoot over a little bit. Yeah.
If I want to be a hoe, I'll be